Hey, what's going on, guys? It's another episode of Light Sports Breakdown. It's been a couple of days since I posted a video. My last video I posted on Facebook and YouTube at Light Sports Breakdown. I did a collab with my man JJ the DJ, and we talked about the NBA restart. So if you're willing to listen to two guys just talk about sports, I think we did really good in the video. I'd really appreciate it. But now let's get back to business. Some very big news happened uh, last week on Monday. It was unanimous. All owners in the MLB voted for there to be a MLB 2020 season. And on Tuesday of last week, they confirmed that training camp will start July 1st. So I'm very excited for that. Baseball is coming, and training camp is not that far away, and the season will start either July 23rd or July 24th. So I'm really pumped. I can't wait to see these teams battle it out. It will be very intense because of the shortened season. A lot of games will mean more now because there's such a small margin of error for every team. If you start out hot, then that's better for you. But if you start off slow on the first half of the season, then it's going to be very hard to come back. But like I said, training camp starts July 1st. Upon arrival, every player will be tested, players and personnel, and if you test positive, then you will be isolated from the team. And if you test negative, then you can do your workouts for training camp. But for you to return back to the team during training camp or during the season, depending on when it's been notified that you have the virus, you have to take two tests, and they both have to come back negative. Seems reasonable. The MLB is taking a lot of precautions because of the coronavirus. Obviously, the season was prolonged until now, so it's very important that they have no hiccups because it would be very catastrophic if the season had to be fully canceled and that we didn't even get a chance to watch baseball or to crown a World Series champion. Obviously, last season ended with the Nationals winning the championship against the Houston Astros. The Nationals actually started the season off slow, and then they overcame that. So it'll be interesting to see what team that will happen to next. But I just want to see a new champion crowned. I want to see the World Series. It's going to be very different. There's not going to be fans at the stadium, but it will still be electric, and it will still be exciting to see all these star players and home runs, and just to see baseball back in action. It's been so long since I've seen baseball. Obviously, I've watched a lot of highlights, but now we'll actually get to see players play. So there's only 60 games this year, so that's very disappointing. I would have rather it been more games, but due to that, so there will be 10 games against divisional opponents. So there's 5 teams in each division. So you only play them 2 times during the season. So it'll be interesting to see how divisional wins play an impact in accordance to standings. And it makes sense because the league is trying to limit travel. On the other side, 20 games will be played in your opposing geological league. So if you're in the AL West, then you'll play against the team in the NL West to limit travel. And obviously, that's the utmost importance, player safety. So they don't want us to have to worry, the players to worry. It's all about safety, and the less travel you do, the less likely you are to catch the virus. So I'm very pleased that the MLB is taking this precaution, and it's disappointing that we won't be able to see as many games this year, but it's better than not seeing any games at all, so I'm very thankful and appreciative. The MLB and the MLBPA were constantly going back and forth in regards to proposals. It didn't seem like there would be an end in sight. And then after the last MLBPA Players Association proposal, Rob Manfred announced that he questioned if there was going to be a season. But luckily, it was in his hands, and the players wanted to play. So regardless of the amount of games, it's 60 games. And the MLB and MLBPA previously had an agreement on March 26th. They had a formal agreement in place. So there had to be a season. It was just a matter of how many games it was going to play. So we have our season, and now it's just a matter of playing ball. But before I get into more of that, there's some new rules that the MLB is implementing, some trial and error rules. So it will be interesting to see how the players react to this year. So for the first time, both leagues, the AL and the NL, will have a DH. It will be interesting to see how the teams strategize their team. A lot of players, depending on the team, they have a lot of bats, and sometimes they have to keep people on the bench, and they can't have every bat play because there's only a limited amount of positions out on the field. So they'll have one more spare position that they can place a player in, and it will be fascinating to see how they utilize it and what players will be given an opportunity to play in the DH spot. The trade deadline is August 31st. Obviously, that's only a little bit over a month away from the start of the season, so it'll be interesting to see where the teams stand within that month, and if there's teams that are on the cusp of being a playoff team, or if there's a team that's trying to get even better, they're at the top of their game, or if there's a team that's just below and has that opportunity to get a playoff berth. So that's very exciting. Extra inning games. If there's extra innings, there will be a runner on second base. So I'm iffy with this kind of rule because I don't think that there should just be a runner on base. I think he has to earn it. But now the players will have to react to that and worry about someone on second base as well as worrying about 3 outs. So it will be very important to see how they react. And a lot of games will mean more because there's such a short amount of games compared to previous seasons. So a lot of games will mean more. And now you got to worry about a runner on second base. So you got to keep your eyes out. 10-day injured list for pitchers and hitters, and compared to the 60-day IL, it will be reduced to 45. Makes sense. Shorter season, shorter amount of rest. Pretty self-explanatory. Team personnel and players that aren't playing in this game, like players that are like pitchers or catchers or other players that aren't playing in the game today, they will be designated into a specific area by the club. They're non-players, like team personnel, will have to wear masks. Because obviously it's for the protection of the players. They will wear masks. There will be no chewing tobacco, no spitting. Chewing gum is acceptable, but there will also be no celebrations, no hugs, no high fives, no fist pumps. So it's all about safety. It's all about keeping your distance and not touching and exposing each other to potential risks, which is the coronavirus. And lastly, the players will be paid a full prorated salary based on the season. So the full amount of games they play will equate to 37%. So that's it, guys. I really appreciate you watching. I'm very excited for the season to begin, and it's coming soon. So I can't wait for baseball, basketball, and it seems like the world of sports is healing after this rough time that we've all been experiencing. So thank you for listening, guys, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.